Hey, it's D. It's a brand new episode coming right for you, right on the FTO network. Enjoy. All right. How's it going, everybody? It's a brand new episode. As you can hear, it is raining outside. This is the number one blerd podcast out there right now. I'm your host, D, of FTO Podcast. Talk about a lot of your hot takes, a lot of your news, your topics, all that different stuff throughout the week. If you follow my pages on Instagram, on TikTok, on everywhere else you find social media, make sure you tell your friends, make sure you subscribe. This is it's gonna be a fun episode. I don't know what number episode this is, but this is it. We're doing it. Another episode, brand new, just for you. A little late. If you are listening to this and you're waiting for your table cheese episode, I had to tell you that Anton 6 is currently sick. He's out right now, so that episode for this week is gonna be put on pause. So this is your Happy Meal Day podcast. Got a lot to talk about this week. A lot of news happened this week, in all different platforms. And if you follow the platforms on Twitter, Instagram, all the different places, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of these new topics, you know what they're going to be. So I'm not even going to keep on pushing this out. Let's just get right down into what we're going to be talking about for this week, because it's just so much to get into. And first up, I want to say first and foremost that Jason David Frank of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and different other iterations of Power Rangers recently passed away. And it's a sad time to see the heroes that so many of us have passing right now, from Kevin Conroy and many other celebrities that have recently passed away, like William Hurt as well. It's just a lot of folks that we're seeing, we see on a regular, that we bring into our homes to do different kind of medium, passing away, and it is hitting all of us pretty hard. So if you are feeling any kind of like dread or sadness and you need someone to talk to, make sure you contact those numbers and contact those people to get the proper care that you need. But may Jason David Frank rest in peace. It's a hard way to swallow all this. It really is. All right, with all that being said, let's go into our first article. Disney boots CEO and brings back Bob Iger to lead the company. And if you guys don't want to talk about this, is Disney. So the Disney chief executive, Bob Chapek, on Sunday announced that it had brought back former CEO Bob Iger to once again take the reins. This is pretty wild. The chair of Disney board, Susan Arnold, said, "We thank Bob Chapek for his service to Disney over his long career." And this is really odd to see, because Chapek kind of ran all of this during the pandemic. He kind of took off with the Disney Plus streaming, and he made a lot of calls that even Bob Iger himself said he wouldn't have made. The whole thing that happened in Florida, Iger said he wouldn't let it got that far in the first place. He would have talked about how Disney is very pro LGBTQ, how what DeSantis is doing has no reflection on Florida or on Disney and what they do in Florida, and how the city that Disney had in Florida is now gone, and how that was a big mistake to happen also. So I think Iger is going to try to get that city back. I think come 2024. I think Disney's going to have a big influence on how we see the political scope in that time frame. We got to wait to see to find out, but I definitely think that Iger is going to have a part to play in the 2024 elections. We may not see it close up, but if Ron DeSantis is planning on running for president in 2024, we're going to see a lot of Disney coming out of that. We just are. Next up, Jan Demange is the new director of Marvel's Blade reboot. And it's really cool to see that Blade reboot is still going strong, because I thought it was dead in the water. I'm not even going to BS you. I thought it was dead in the water. I thought Mahershala Ali's going to get recasted. I thought a lot of stuff going to be different, but I'm not familiar with Jan's work. I'm not familiar with what he's done in the past, but this is really interesting news to see, because Blade is coming now, and with Black Panther coming out, and way Black Panther came out, and how we all saw Black Panther, and also I should pause for a second. Sorry I haven't done a Black Panther review. I honestly like don't know where to start with that. Talking about a review for that, like me doing like a movie review by myself is not something I have like gotten myself into yet, but I know I need to make sure that happens sometime soon, along with like my solo comic book reviews, which should be happening. I feel like whatever I do on FTO podcast should like mirror itself on like the solo podcast. I'm talking about individual properties, so I'm working those kinks out. But to get back to this, Mahershala Ali is still going to be a part of Blade. We got like a new director, a part of Blade. We got like the hype train for Blade coming back out. Like, same Black Panther do what it did, kind of give you a movie about grief. If MCU is picking themes to do when it comes to their films now, I can't wait to see what the theme's going to be for Blade. This is very interesting. Like, I hope the script is good. I hope like we know the casting is going to be on par because it is MCU. Whether you like MCU or not, they know how to cast actors. So this is interesting. This is like, for lack of a better word, it's really interesting to see. Next up, Brandy is back as Cinderella in the new Descendants movie for Disney+. 25 years after she played the role of Cinderella, Brandy is stepping back into her glass slipper again. Now this is fun. So, because a lot of fans out there talk about that Brandy Cinderella movie. 25 years is a long time, like, to be holding on to a film that so many of us hold dear. It's like, it's in the same category as Hocus Pocus, really. It really is. And to see that she's coming back as Cinderella, I'm not sure she's still playing, if she will be playing that same canon character. So maybe we'll see Whoopi Goldberg in this also. Who knows? Or we'll see some nods or Easter eggs to that film in this as well. In this movie also, but like, it's really interesting to see like that they're bringing Brandy for this and that she's getting like, work again, because it's been a while since we've seen Brandy do some work, and to have this happen, I think it's long overdue, to be honest with you. I know like a lot of us know what her backstory is, Brandy's backstory. She did Moesha for a while, she started doing some films, and like, she accidentally killed someone with her car, and then that whole thing happened, but it's like paid her debt. She was out for a while. Now she's back. Now we get to see what happens. Like, so, you can't hold on to things forever. You just can't. And we're going to see, like, how this gets played out. It may not do well. It may be spectacular. But it is cool to see Brandy back inside, like, a familiar role and trying to get herself back out there to, like, the acting role. So we'll see what happens. Next up, ballerina news. John Wick spin-off TV show. Angelica Houston joins Anna Del Mars in John Wick spin-off. This is, it's the Ruska Roma family. That is who Houston's character is going to be a part of. And like she made her first appearance in John Wick 3, Parabellum. It's really cool to see that this is getting like the really fleshed out look that we want to see. So it's not just adding some elements from the movie. It really is adding like, all bits and pieces that we've seen from the movie and make like a cohesive universe, like outside of the 3 films that we've already seen. Like, we all know the 4th one's coming out as well. And if you're following like video game news, you see that games are getting like a resurgence after a TV show or a movie comes out. Now, while John Wick does not have a video game, it does have a comic book, but I do think having a movie franchise and then bringing that movie franchise into a TV show franchise is going to be like the next step for a lot of these, these companies right now. I heard that Robert Downey Jr. is trying to come back for Sherlock Holmes, Mr. Blackface himself, and it's really interesting to see that like he's still trying to get like some legs going, because I'm not sure if you remember seeing any last film besides Iron Man from Robert Downey Jr. Like, he has done work, but do you remember those titles? That's a real question. So, like, yeah, I do know that there's a 3rd movie he's trying to work on, but like, could it be possibly a TV series? It could be a spin-off of that TV series. Like, could they find like some breakout actor? You got that Enola Holmes show. It's a movie. Could that break out into a series also? Who knows? So like, seeing Ballerina like this as a TV show, like having a spin-off of John Wick and John Wick 4, getting like a teaser trailer also, there's a lot of stuff happening for this franchise. Like, I'm really interested to see like how like this get fully fleshed out, and what Peacock is going to be doing, like all the different properties like Twisted Metal and whatnot, and Bel Air, all those shows. So this is interesting to say the least, and it's going to be fun to see how all this plays through. And lastly, actually, I don't think this is the last thing. I got like some more news out here to talk about. Archie Comics reinvents Betty as a horror comic called Final Girl. Like, it's like the girl next door Betty story, but it's just like her. It comes out in February. It's a whole like horror theme anthology with one-shot set launch from Archie Comic Books, and like, if you guys, like, know anything about Archie comic books and what they've been doing when it comes to horror stuff, like, they did, like, this Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which kind of made a resurgence of the Sabrina series, and Archie. Like, I think, like, that one comic book where, this is spoilers if you haven't read the comic book, but I forget the name of the comic book, but there was a comic book that came out recently about how all the Archie characters were being attacked by zombies, and the zombies came simply because Sabrina casted a spell for all zombies to come out. And if you guys don't think about, like, these comic books, these Archie comic books, they're pretty old, like, as old as DC or Marvel, and I guess, like, a long linear story too. Like, so they put, like, all those stories, all the characters from those stories in this zombie comic book with the Archie gang, which was canon, which is pretty odd to see how this plays out. And the fact that the horror did so well, which is one of the biggest properties right now outside, like, the blockbuster genre in films, you got, like, the horror comic book coming out, like, on the tails of Riverdale coming, like, to their finales in the show. You know, it's still going strong. I do think that show is going to be on its last legs pretty soon. I think we're going to get, like, some more horror stuff in this realm, man. Like, I feel like we're gonna get, like, more TV stuff out of it. Like if this Final Girl does well, comic book wise, and the art is spectacular. Like, if you haven't seen the cover art for this, it's called, like, Chilling Adventures. That's, like, the sub company of this. It's Chilling Adventures branch of Archie Horror. So they got a lot of stuff going on, man. It's pretty wild. It really is. Next up, and finally in news, Dragon Ball Super debuts new look for Goten and Trunks. So Goten and Trunks, like, probably one of the two most popular characters, like, next, like, you know, the main, like, the second tier most popular characters, Goten and Trunks. They're kind of like the clutch characters. They're really going hard with this superhero theme, like, by giving them capes and, like, a super suit. But if you guys don't think about Toriyama and his designs, he can be a little bit quirky with his work sometimes. And, like, I gotta say, these costumes do look like that. If you ever get a chance, check out comicbook.com. They have, like, a full picture of what these two look like. It's like a gray and white suit. They're both wearing capes. It's like space suits, but they're supposed to be superheroes. I'm not sure I'm buying it. They got, like, number 1, number 2 on their belts. It just, I mean, it's cute. It's not really, like, it won't sell me to get more into this. So let me just put it like that. But Dragon Ball Super coming back with a force, man. Coming back pretty hard. And we got two more side news you guys may be seeing out there. Superman's secret identity is officially being restored along with his son, Jonathan Kent, which I always thought should have been the thing, because, like, not having a super... I wouldn't say, like, for Clark, having Clark not have a secret identity is fine, but having John have a secret identity, you gotta show that parallel. You gotta show, like, what he would be like as a mild-mannered person, or as a person who's not donning the mantle of Superman, which I definitely think you gotta have if you're gonna have a mantle exchange of Superman, like, to Superman. Like, you gotta have that secret identity aspect. You just gotta. Otherwise, as we've all said, like, if you didn't have the secret identity, the fake persona, as people call it, of Clark Kent, like, the costume that is Clark Kent, Superman would have gone crazy. And as I said before, Superman, Clark Kent, Kal-El has 3 different personalities, which is that Kal-El, last son of Krypton, which he identifies with, Clark Kent, which he kind of identifies with as, like, you know, the small town boy who grew up in Kansas, Smallville, Kansas, and Superman, like, the champion of champions, like, the first superhero. Like, he identifies with all those characters, but he wears those different masks at any given time. And, like, for, like, us to understand, like, now that we see masking as a full-on norm amongst people, especially, like, the millennial and Gen Zs, like, to see masking of Superman for doing that for all those ages, it's interesting to see, and it'll be very cool to see with Jonathan Kent also. I really want to see how, like, this is played out with Jonathan Kent. I really do. Keegan-Michael Key is reprising his role as Mr. Garvey in Paramount Mountain. It's like a promo for Paramount Plus, talking with characters like Dora the Explorer, Bumblebee, Murph. Like, it's showing, like, all these different kind of characters for Paramount Plus, and you get to see Mr. Garvey reprise his role. So, like, you know, Keegan-Michael Key doing this thing. It's always fun to see him doing stuff. Like, here and watch the show Reboot on Hulu. Good show. It really is. I got maybe 3 more episodes left. You guys know how I am with finishing shows. Not the best. Still haven't watched the season finale of House of Dragons. So there you go with that, right? So yeah. That is the first half of the show. Take a little break. We'll be right back.
You're listening to FTO Nerd-Talk. Excellent choice. If you're looking for more nerdy content, consider giving my idiot co-host and I a chance. We are two idiots and a dog, and we talk about movies, comic books, and general pop culture and entertainment media nonsense. Give us a listen on Good Pods, Anchor, iTunes, or your podcatcher of choice. You can also find us at podpage.com/TIAAD media, or you can always find us on Twitter and we'll bribe you with dog pictures too.
All right, we are back and we're going to talk about things you should check out. Things you should check out. Number one of things to check out comes out November 11th. It's called The Fabelmans. This is like a official, unofficial, how do I put this? Documentary about Steven Spielberg and his life growing up. I just heard like a few different people talk about this in different interviews. It's like, and with himself included, talk about it, about how like he struggled being a director and like being like a young Jewish kid growing up and like just like trying to like to explore his dreams. Like he talks about a lot of different stuff in this film, and it does a whole many things back. He is like Spielberg is directing it. He's also writing it along with Tony Kushner. It stars Gabriel Bateman, Gabrielle LaBelle, Judd Hirsch, Julia Butler. The synopsis reads as follows: The Fabelmans are 16-year-old aspiring filmmaker Sam Fabelman, played by Gabriel LaBelle, his artistic mom Missy, played by Michelle Williams, and his successful scientific father Bert, played by Paul Dano, and his young sisters. Now, like, this seems like a really cool show, a movie, and it's directed by Universal. It's classified as a drama. I don't have a runtime for this, so I apologize for that. But like, it does seem like it's an interesting watch. It just does. It just like seriously, like full on seems like something like we should probably be talking about, should be checking out. I'm not like a big Steven Spielberg head. I do like some of his films. I do think he's a little bit hokey, but he did set a standard for filmmaking of his time. So like you got to give respect where you give respect. So next up, I almost didn't talk about this film only because like Dennis Quaid is in it. Just putting it out there. But this one here is Strange World. I don't really like Dennis Quaid. Like that's why. Like he was a big Trumper when Trump was doing this thing. Like he still kind of is a big Trumper. So I don't really like rock with Dennis Quaid, but it's whatever, I guess. So the synopsis reads as follows: Strange World journeys Strange World journeys deep into an uncharted and treacherous land where fantastic creatures await the legendary Clades, a family of explorers whose difference threaten to topple their latest and by far most crucial mission. Now, I feel like this film like kind of just told me to shut up about Dennis Quaid because like it shows you that like this is about differences in families, which is probably why they can't cast Dennis Quaid inside this role. It has Alan Tuck. Dennis Quaid is written by Queen Nguyen, who also directed it, along with Dan Hall. It's an action-adventure, sci-fi, fantasy, comedy animated for families. The runtime is 102 minutes. It's rated PG. This is I saw this in theaters when we watched Encanto, and it looks so good. It like the quality to it is like posh, man. So clear, so beautiful, and apparently like their first. Like one of Disney's first LGBTQ romances inside of it, outside of Buzz Lightyear, is my thinking. But like it's definitely very well seen, very well known. Like you're like your first official gay character that's in the spotlight, and I'm really interested to see how this is going to play out. I think like with Bob Iger coming back, and like I said before in the beginning of the show, this is something to watch out for. Just is. Next up, this game. The video game that's on PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. The Pictures Anthology, The Devil in Me. This is from Bandai Namco Games. The synopsis reads, I'm going to read part of the synopsis, like the game synopsis, are always long. This is a switch between the perspective of 5 playable characters. All can live or die in your version of the story, multiple ways to play, including 2-player online co-op mode, hugely branched storylines, that change based on the decision you make. Each game in the Dark Picture anthology is complete with original story in its own right, 3 ways to play. Wow, that's really interesting. Wow. You can play up to 2 players. It's an action-adventure survivor game. It's rated M. This is really interesting. It comes out November 18th, so it's already out. I'm recording this the day of Thanksgiving, so it's already out. Definitely something interesting to look out for. Next up is Pokemon Violet on the Switch. This came out also November 18th. Developer is Game Freak. The publisher is Nintendo and the Pokemon Company. The synopsis reads as follows. The Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet games, the newest chapter of the Pokemon series, is coming to Nintendo Switch. With these new titles, the Pokemon series take an evolutionary step, allowing you to explore freely in a rich, express open world. Various towns blend seamlessly into the wilderness with no boundaries. You will be able to see the Pokemon of this reign in the skies, in the seas, in the forests, in the streets all over. I think there's a typo there. You'll be able to experience true joy. This sounds like fun. Up to 4 players. Rated E for everyone. Interesting. The genre is literally considered a trainer game. I guess I didn't know that was a thing with game. Like you have like categorization, the genre of trainer. Didn't know that was a thing. Next up, TV show. Kind of TV show. It's technically it's a TV show, but it's the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. It's episodic. It is considered a TV show, but yeah. The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. It doesn't tell me who's in this. I'm assuming it's the entire cast from already, part of the Guardians of the Galaxy from the films. But the synopsis is a holiday special written and directed by James Gunn. See the Guardians look for a Christmas present for Peter Quill. That's the story. So I'm pretty sure Peter Quill is in this. He's probably at the end of it. Considering that he's going to be Mario soon, we're probably going to be seeing Chris Pratt a lot more in the next couple of days. So yeah, if you got a problem with Chris Pratt, just remember he did apologize for his statements. I'm not sure that that's enough for you to go watch his products or not, but I'm putting that out there just to put it out there. We do try to be a news source in some fashion, so there's that. Next up is Welcome to Chippendales. Comes out November 22nd. Now this is something I was not interested in watching until I found out it was a TV show. I thought it was a movie. And I don't want to watch a movie about Chippendales. I want to see, it branched out. And, it is. So here we are. It also doesn't give me, it doesn't give me the cast of the show, but I will read the synopsis. The limited darkly comedy, wow, I mess up all these words. The limited darkly comedic crime drama series created by Robert Siegel chronicles how Indian immigrant Somi Stephen Bajari, played by Kamal Najani, created the Chippendales and the dangerous actions he took against potential competitors. Whoa, that sounds heavy. I was not expecting that to be the synopsis. I thought it was going to be some kind of Full Monty kind of situation. I was not expecting espionage. What? How many of you knew the origin stories about Chippendales? That's wild. Oh my goodness, that is new to me. So, wasn't going to watch it till I found it was a TV show. Wasn't going to watch it when I found it was a TV show. Just read the synopsis. I'm reading it for the first time with you guys also. And that is, wow. That's impressive. Next up, Criminal Minds Evolution. Now, for the Criminal Minds fans out there who's like, yeah, he's talking about Criminal Minds. Haven't watched it. I thought it was I'm not going to lie. I thought this Criminal Minds Evolution was old episodes, just being replayed for everyone. I thought that's what it was. Then I saw Aisha Tyler attached to this or something. I think that's who I saw. Again, there's nothing who's cast members are on this show and this whole synopsis here. But it comes out the 24th, so it just dropped. And the synopsis is the FBI's Behavior Analysis Unit, the BAU, must stop a serial killer network from killing again in this revival of a long-running CBS crime drama series. Huh. What? What? So, as most of you may know, I haven't talked about it on TikTok or Instagram or anything like that. But I've been watching this show on Paramount Plus called Ghosts. That's been my go-to show. Full on. Paramount Plus also has everything Star Trek. So, out of all the streaming services I have, I will not be dropping Paramount Plus. Just simply for Star Trek. Strange New Worlds, Discovery, Lower Decks. Those are not going anywhere. Picard. We got Starfleet Academy coming up soon. We got Sector 31 coming out soon. So me and Paramount Plus, we're two pieces in the pot. We're not going anywhere. So this here, I get to get this along with everything else that I'm a part of when it comes to Paramount Plus. I may have to check this out. Like, I'm not trying to glamorize serial killers, but like if you ever watch Criminal Minds TV show, first off, that universe, it's not a universe. That and 24 are two universes I would not want to live in TV show wise, along with Attack on Titan. Would not want to live in that universe either. But like this whole universe is like every week there's a serial killer. Every week, it's like there's a serial killer. I get like, in our world, we have serial killers too that we don't talk about in the news all the time. But like these are like full blown, like really dangerous people, and they're trying to revamp that whole franchise. And I literally think like when shows get revamped in TV, it does like a trickle up kind of thing. Like you see like a lot of horror TV shows, like American Horror Story, and how like we get like a resurgence in horror films. I think stuff like that can happen with the other genres of TV shows also. And like you saw like with vampires, and when vampire TV shows were going on, or vampire movies were going on, like the TV shows were going on, but the TV shows go so long, like it would make research back into film, and like back and forth. I'm interested in this. It's Criminal Minds, man. And like that is the end of things to check out. Now we do have like some comic books to talk about, and I am going to talk about these. I'm gonna try to go through these as fast as possible. I feel like my runtime is going on kind of long. Not really. We're at 20-some minutes. It's like it's fine. Comic books to check out. The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 14. Spring, summer, fall, winter. We haven't seen Chasm since Amazing Spider-Man issue number 894. And the FCBU issue, that doesn't mean he hasn't been busy. Join us for this very special issue featuring Spidey's most dangerous new villain, as well as the Goblin Queen, and brand new villain that you won't believe. This is Legacy issue number 908, Dark Well Prelude, written by Zeb Wells and written by Ryan Stegman. So I'm trying. I'm putting out the writers and the artists, trying to put them out there. I'm trying. DC Comics, Action Comics, issue number 1049. Kal-El's Return, Chapter 5, The Fight Ahead, Red Moon, Part 3. We're only 1 month away from the Mammoth Action Comics 1050, and tension between the Super Family and Lex Luthor had never been higher. Meanwhile, in the Fortress of Solitude, still Supergirl and Kong Keenan repel an alien invasion. Continue for Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue number 17. This is written by Philip Kennedy Johnson and art by David Lapham. That sounded heavy. Wow. Kong Keenan is a part of this too? Where have I been? Man, I'm behind. Next up, Image Comics. The Department of Truth, issue number 22. It's a long night. I'm sorry. Chapter 15, Happy Face. The Department of Truth recruited him. Black Hat tried to flip him. A monster from his childhood came to life to torment him. Cole Turner has been pushed past his limit, and now that his husband has been dragged into the secret war he's about to break, the most devastating arc yet of the Eisner-nominated series comes to a shocking conclusion. That sounds freaking intense. Wow. That sounds like a man in a mission kind of story right there. This is written by James Tinney IV, and art and cover art by Martin Simid. That sounded really cool. Next up from Marvel Comic Books, Midnight Sun, issue number 3, Part 3, Lost in the Dark. Beware the vapors of Valtor. The Midnight Sun's brave and darkest, most horrifying journey imaginable to secure aid from one of the most ancient and dangerous beings in all existence. What terrible secret from the past is Agatha Harkness hiding? And what does the truth mean for Zoe Lev's future? Now, I only picked this one simply because like it's Midnight Suns, and I don't think I talked about Midnight Suns enough. Like, we know the video game's coming out, it was pushed back, so I do think like Marvel's trying to set up like a focus for fans to be into this. So like that's regardless like of how you feel about Marvel Midnight Sun, like what Marvel's doing with that whole comic book video game thing. Like, this sounds really interesting. Like, issue number 3, still going pretty strong. The writer is Ethan Sachs. The artist is Luigi Zagaria. Next up, DC Comics, Dark Crisis, The Dark Army, issue number 1. Now, if you're going to talk to me about, like, hey, what happened to Comic Point with you and Yo Nerd, man, we're on a hiatus. That's all there is to it. I'm sorry. I really am. I keep telling myself, like, I need to read my comic books. I need to take my notes. I need to take my screenshots and talk about what I'm reading to catch up with DC comic books. I just moving around right now and getting myself situated. Like, it's been like the last thing in my mind. And as you guys know, taking like a little mid-season break towards the end of the year, usually a ritual for me, and like me keeping up the podcast going on top of it, like it's just a lot, and it'll come back in motion. I'm sorry for the delay. It's what it is right now. Bear with me. Hopefully, Yona and I can just finish off the Dark Crisis and just talk about it as a whole, and I can just go from there. But it's been a rough go, so I apologize for the delay, but it will come back. It will be here. But let me get a synopsis of the Dark Army, issue number 1 from Dark Crisis. As Pariah Dark Army continue its march around the globe, Damian Wayne thinks he's got an answer as to why Pariah's been able to control the most dangerous cosmic villains in the multiverse. And he's taking Red Canary and Dr. Light on the road to see if he's right. Interesting. Don't miss the thrilling Crisis tie-in with a direct connect to the present and future of the DCU. What the Are you serious? Well, that sounds interesting. That caught my attention big time right there. Wow. This is written by Mark Waid and Dennis Culver, Delilah S. Dawson, and artist by Freddie Williams II, artist Jackson Herbert. So 3 writers. How many pages? 48 pages. Oh, right. That sounds like fun. That sounds like I should probably get my hands on that one. Image Comics, what the first place from here? The origin of the Academy. Issue number 8. The origin of the Academy. Spending some time with the not-so-friendly little piggies known as the Big Business as they make deals, cause chaos, and huff and puff, and blow up anyone in their way. But when they stick their little snouts too far out, someone would have to pay. And how does everyone's favorite record store fit into this? That's all, folks. That's written in there. 28 pages long, written by Matthew Rosenberg, and written and cover art by Tyler Boss. That sounds a little cheesy. I won't deny it. The title grabbed me, but it sounds a little cheesy. It's 8 issues, so it's going on pretty strong. So I guess there's that. This is the last comic book for you guys. Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. Book 1, Love in the Wasteland. Chapter 1, The Tower in the Sea. In this epic post-apocalyptic tale, Mako and Mezzi have never met anyone like each other, and they'll need all the help they can get to survive a planet ravaged by environmental catastrophe. The epic trilogy, each issue overflowing with 30 stories, page spans a lifetime of philosophical differences tear at the threads holding Mako and Mezzi together. It sounds really interesting, and it's written by Jason Aaron, so even more. Wow, that's really cool. And art is by Nick Dragato. That sounds cool. From Boom Studios. Right on. I'm for that one. That sounds pretty cool. Right, wow, really cool. All right, that is your show. That is everything I need to talk to you guys about when it comes to all the topics of this week. If you're still listening to this show, thank you so much for keeping on listening to this. This episode is definitely going to be called, Happy Meal Day, because that's what we're celebrating this week. I hope you guys really are enjoying the show, FTO Podcast. I am sorry that Table Cheese is on a break this week. I couldn't find anybody to host with me. I've been so busy. I'm just always so busy. So make sure you keep on following me. Make sure you tell me what you guys want to hear from me, what you want to see on the pages, all the pages. I'm always listening to DMs. I'm always receiving emails. So keep me posted. What you want is important to me. So let me know what it is that you want. Let me know how I can help you. Or make FTO a better experience for you. Because I'm trying. I'm one guy who's trying to put the stuff out there so you all can enjoy it and have a good time doing what you're doing when it comes to FTO. Because this is not just my place, it's your place. And we take our shoes off when we come in here. You know what I'm saying? I do think about trying to change around the formats of a lot of the shows. I do want to do a full reviews of TV shows, of movies. Do the same thing for Table Cheese, do a full review of video games. Go to different events, do a few review of that. But I know for a fact, and like I get this, that like video is the future. I gotta start doing videos, put myself in front of the camera, especially when we do like stuff like this. Put my face in front of my camera so you can see me like on YouTube, and like maybe I can edit it. Probably won't. I'm not gonna like don't hold your breath to that, but probably won't edit it. If I did edit, I would probably use like StreamYard or something like that, but I feel like I gotta pay for that, which isn't a bad thing. I feel like if I get like over 1,000 followers on YouTube, that may be the future for me. I'm looking at like my dude of Comics Will Break Your Heart. She and her partner, like they do like a review of comic books every week. Check them out on YouTube, definitely. And they have StreamYard, and they put the comic books in front of them when they're talking about it. And I was just on Black Girl Nerd, and they also do the same thing. Like when they're doing like a podcast, they put the pictures out on there. I know that Anton Six knows how to use photographs on OBS. This is like OBS is like a program that you can use to broadcast yourself on different platforms, which I get but don't fully understand. That's like my big thing. I need to get a team. I need a team to help me out with all this. I'm apprehensive about calling out for a team, but trust issues, man. That's all it is, trust issues. I know. I'll get there. I know I will. I've been doing FTO for this long. I could have quit a long time ago. We just gone on 11 years. I didn't celebrate that on any of my pages. I should have had. I didn't. But 11 years doing this, and it feels good. It really does. I'm 40 now. Also think I didn't broadcast out to everybody. I did last year. Wasn't doing this year. But it's nice to be a part of this. It's nice to keep on doing this every week. I do get a little nervous doing it sometimes still. I think like if I don't get nervous, I'm not doing my job right. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for hearing me ramble at the end of the show if you're still a part of this. I hope your holiday went well. Hope you ate well. Happy Meal Day. And until next time, take it easy. Hey guys, D here of FTO Nerd-Talk. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, tell your friends about FTO Nerd-Talk. Got a lot of different shows for all of you. Make sure you tune in every week for a brand new episode. Take it easy.